What if I told you that the most powerful telescope humanity has ever constructed has been peering so far across the cosmos that it's capturing sights that simply shouldn't be there at all? What if the James Webb Space Telescope has stumbled upon something so profoundly unsettling that it's pushing scientists to rethink everything we believed we understood about the nature of the universe? I'm about to walk you through discoveries that are keeping astronomers awake long into the night. Observations so astonishing, so wildly unforeseen, that they're reshaping the very foundations of cosmology as we speak. And trust me, by the time you reach the end of this video, you'll see why some of the world's most respected researchers are beginning to wonder whether we might be living in a universe far different from the one we assumed. But before we plunge into these extraordinary revelations, let me give you a sense of just how remarkable this telescope truly is. The James Webb Space Telescope isn't merely another device drifting through space. This is an instrument that cost $10 billion and required more than 20 years to bring into existence. It sits 1 million miles from Earth, gathering light that has crossed the emptiness for billions of years. And what it's revealing is transforming everything. The discoveries I'm about to describe aren't merely unexpected. They're impossible according to the physics we rely on today. They're challenging the basic principles that define how we think the universe behaves. If you find a sense of wonder in these gentle journeys through space and science, I'd be thankful if you'd consider subscribing and giving this video a like. Imagine if each one of you watching right now subscribed for daily uploads. We would reach 100,000 subscribers in this wonderful science community incredibly soon and help the algorithm guide many more curious dreamers to join us. It would mean so much to me. I'd love to hear where you're watching from and what time it happens to be for you. Feel free to share your location and the time in the comments below. Let's begin. So, what exactly has James Webb been observing that has set the entire scientific world buzzing? Picture yourself peering backward through time itself, because that is essentially what this telescope is built to do. The deeper it gazes into the cosmos, the further back in history its view extends, since light requires time to cross the immense stretches of the universe. And when Webb peers into the earliest epochs of existence, only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, it ought to reveal a dim, primitive universe scattered with tiny, uncomplicated galaxies just beginning to spark their first stars. But that isn't what it's uncovering. Instead, James Webb is revealing enormous, fully developed galaxies that are so vast, so intricate, and so astonishingly mature that they simply shouldn't be present yet. We're talking about galaxies seemingly containing billions of stars, elaborate internal structures, and masses far greater than anything our models predicted could emerge in such an early era. It's like expecting to encounter a single-celled organism and stumbling upon a fully grown elephant instead. Let me illustrate how truly bewildering this is. According to the most reliable models of cosmic development, the universe entered what we call the Dark Ages after the Big Bang, a span lasting hundreds of millions of years, during which there were no stars, no galaxies. Nothing but a cold, lightless sea of hydrogen and helium slowly gathering under gravity. The first stars shouldn't have ignited until roughly 400 million years after the Big Bang, and the very first genuine galaxies should have appeared even later. But Webb is detecting huge, mature galaxies when the universe was only around 300 million years old. Some of these enormous systems seem to have formed when the universe was barely 200 million years old. That's like finding a skyscraper standing tall in a neighborhood where the concrete foundation was poured the day before. The timeline simply refuses to fit, and it's forcing scientists to grapple with the possibility that much of what we assumed about cosmic evolution could be fundamentally flawed. And here's where things become even more astonishing. These aren't just large galaxies. They're extraordinarily luminous, extraordinarily massive, and they appear in nearly every direction Webb turns its mirrors toward. When astronomers first began receiving data from the telescope, they suspected they might encounter a few strange anomalies, just a small handful of puzzling objects that would need special explanation. But as additional observations poured in, it became clear this wasn't an occasional oddity. It was the pattern. The early universe is absolutely filled with these immense, well-developed galaxies that logically should not exist yet. One galaxy, uncovered by Webb, labeled JD's GSZ 13-0, appears to have formed when the universe was just 325 million years old. But here's the astonishing twist. This galaxy is so massive and so advanced that, based on our models, it would have required more time to grow than the universe itself had existed by then. It's like coming across a 50-year-old tree thriving in a forest that was planted only 20 years earlier. The numbers refuse to cooperate, and this isn't a one-off phenomenon. Webb has identified dozens of these seemingly impossible galaxies, each one challenging our deepest assumptions about how the cosmos progressed from the smooth, elementary mixture of particles present right after the Big Bang to the intricate, structured universe we observe today. These findings are so monumental that they're pushing scientists to entertain ideas that would have seemed completely unreasonable only a few short years ago. But the startling revelations don't end with galaxies. James Webb has also detected another phenomenon that shouldn't exist at all: ancient quasars. These are supermassive black holes actively consuming matter, producing some of the brightest beacons in the entire universe. The difficulty is that these black holes are appearing in the early universe at times when their formation should be virtually impossible. You see, supermassive black holes are expected to be the final stage of an extended evolutionary chain. First, enormous stars form and collapse, creating smaller black holes. Then those black holes merge and slowly accumulate mass over billions of years, finally becoming the colossal giants we observe at the centers of mature galaxies. This process ought to take an immense amount of time, but Webb is spotting fully developed supermassive black holes when the universe was less than 1 billion years old, with some emerging when the cosmos was only around 400 million years old. These ancient black holes aren't simply resting quietly in the cosmos. They're actively consuming matter, surrounded by superheated, supermassive disks that shine with a brilliance exceeding that of entire galaxies. The energy pouring out of these objects is so extreme that they illuminate their surroundings across millions of light years. And they're accomplishing all of this during an era when, according to our theoretical models, they shouldn't have formed yet. One particular quasar identified by Webb, named J112 0+0 641, contains a black hole more than 800 million times the mass of our Sun, existing at a point when the universe was only 770 million years old. To give a sense of scale, if the universe were the length of an 80-year human life, this black hole would be comparable to discovering a grown adult when humanity was only 8 years old. The timeline is entirely incompatible with the way we currently understand the growth and formation of these titanic cosmic structures. Perhaps the most unsettling revelation of all comes from what Webb is uncovering about the underlying design of space, time itself. When the telescope observes the most distant galaxies, it isn't merely seeing far-off objects, it's observing light that has journeyed through expanding space for billions of years. And what Webb is detecting hints that space may not be expanding in the manner we once believed. The redshift of distant galaxies shows how quickly they appear to recede due to the universe's expansion. Yet Webb's highly accurate measurements are revealing irregularities in this expansion that fail to align with our predictions. Some cosmic regions seem to be stretching faster than others. Some galaxies appear to move in ways implying that the fabric of space, time, may possess a structure we never anticipated. These findings are pointing toward the possibility that our universe might not be the smooth, uniform expansion we've long assumed. Instead, there may be hidden dimensions, invisible influences, or fundamental traits of reality that have completely escaped us. The consequences are astonishing because they indicate that our entire approach to explaining the cosmos might need to be rebuilt from scratch. And here's what makes all of this even more astonishing. Every single one of these findings is pushing scientists to confront a deeply unsettling possibility. What if the universe isn't 8 billion years old, as we thought? What if cosmic evolution advanced far more rapidly than we believed was possible? Or what if the early universe contained forces we've never detected, never quantified, and never even imagined? Some researchers now propose that our understanding of dark matter and dark energy might need to be entirely reworked. Others argue that the laws of physics themselves may have behaved differently in the universe's earliest moments. And a few are even considering that we may be witnessing hints of interactions with other universes, other dimensions, or cosmic architectures so immense and intricate that they overshadow our entire observable universe. The deeper the James Webb Telescope gazes into the vastness of space and time, the clearer it becomes that we're not merely identifying new objects or rare events, we're encountering evidence that the nature of reality may be far stranger, far more layered, and far more enigmatic than we ever dared to imagine. And these discoveries are just the beginning. What's even more unsettling is that these aren't isolated oddities sprinkled across the cosmic horizon. Webb, instead of uncovering a few scattered anomalies, like someone lifting a rock expecting soil, is encountering these impossible objects everywhere it directs its instruments, revealing not dust, but something akin to an entire underground civilization, thriving for millennia unnoticed. Let me guide you through one of the discoveries that's so bewildering it has astronomers questioning their own sense of reason. Webb detected a galaxy cluster labeled SMACSJ-0723 containing not merely one or two, but dozens of massive galaxies that seem to have formed all at once in the early universe. Ordinarily, galaxy clusters are thought to arise after billions of years of gravitational interactions, with individual galaxies gradually coming together over immense stretches of time. Yet, this cluster existed when the universe was supposedly still developing. Here's what makes this so staggering. The gravitational binding energy required for this cluster to hold together indicates the presence of dark matter structures that would have taken longer to assemble than the age of the universe at that moment. It's like encountering a flawlessly arranged symphony, performed by musicians who haven't even been born yet. The physics simply don't align, and it's pushing cosmologists to wonder whether our basic understanding of how matter behaves across cosmic scales is fundamentally flawed. But hold on, it becomes even more troubling. Webb isn't simply uncovering isolated, impossible objects, it's revealing that the entire young universe may have been functioning under conditions we've never seen before. The telescope has been measuring what's known as the stellar mass density within these primordial galaxies, essentially the amount of material available for forming stars. And what it's uncovering is completely overturning every model we rely on. These early galaxies contain stellar masses that exceed expectations by orders of magnitude, far beyond what should be achievable given the short window of time they had to form stars. We're dealing with galaxies that seem to have transformed gas into stars at rates that would demand mechanisms we've never observed anywhere in the modern universe. It's as though these early cosmic systems possessed some kind of accelerated star-building capability that contradicts every principle of astrophysics we currently understand. One especially startling case is a galaxy that Webb labeled CEES 93316. This object appears to hold more than 100 billion stars worth of mass, and it emerged when the universe was only 235 million years old. To give some perspective, our Milky Way, which has been producing stars for over 13 billion years, contains roughly the same stellar mass. How could a galaxy achieve in 235 million years what ours required 13 billion years to accomplish? The implication is deeply unsettling because it means that either our ideas about how stars form are fundamentally mistaken, or the early universe hosted physical processes that no longer operate today. Some researchers are now entertaining the possibility of primordial star-forming pathways capable of turning matter into stars hundreds of times faster than anything seen in the present-day cosmos. But the surprises don't end there. Webb has also been picking up spectral fingerprints from these young galaxies that reveal heavy elements that shouldn't yet exist. You see, when the universe first came into being, it contained only hydrogen, helium, and tiny amounts of lithium. Every heavier element, carbon, iron, gold, and the rest, had to be built inside stars and scattered across space by supernova explosions. This process of chemical enrichment is expected to take billions of years. The first stars needed to live out their entire lifetimes, explode and seed their surroundings before new generations of stars could form with the diverse chemistry we find in present-day galaxies. But Webb is detecting mature chemical signatures in galaxies that formed when the universe was barely old enough for even the earliest stars to have lived and died. One galaxy observed by Webb displays distinct spectral lines showing oxygen, neon, and even iron when the universe was only 400 million years old. The issue is that according to our understanding of stellar nucleosynthesis and supernova frequencies, producing detectable amounts of these elements should take at least 500 million years, even in the most optimistic conditions. This finding is forcing scientists to seriously consider that the early universe operated under completely different rules than the cosmos we study today. Perhaps stars evolved more quickly, perhaps supernovae were far more common and far more energetic, or perhaps exotic processes were forging heavy elements through channels we have never identified. What's especially disturbing is that these chemical patterns aren't random. They show abundance ratios that imply complex cycles of star birth, stellar death, and chemical enrichment that should have required several generations of stars to develop. It's like discovering a fully formed ecosystem in a brand new lake, complete with predators, prey, and intricate food webs that should have taken millions of years to arise. And here's where things become even more bizarre. Webb has been finding gravitational irregularities around some of these early galaxies that don't align with predictions for how gravity should behave in the young universe. The telescope studies distant objects using gravitational lensing, where the gravity of intervening galaxies bends and magnifies the light from those behind them. But the lensing distortions Webb is measuring around certain massive early galaxies are stronger than expected based solely on their visible matter. This implies that these galaxies are enveloped by dark matter halos that are more massive and more tightly concentrated than our cosmological models allow for the early universe. Dark matter is expected to build structures slowly through gravitational collapse, unfolding over billions of years. The process should begin with tiny density fluctuations that gradually expand into increasingly larger clusters. Yet Webb is observing dark matter formations surrounding early galaxies that seem to be already fully developed and extremely compact when the universe was still in what we believe to be its earliest stage. This has pushed some scientists to suggest that dark matter itself may have acted differently in the early cosmos, or that unknown interactions between dark matter and ordinary matter might exist that our current models have never incorporated. Others are even proposing that these findings could point to dark matter particles capable of interacting with one another in ways that allow them to collapse and concentrate far more rapidly than we previously assumed. But perhaps the most astonishing revelation comes from what Webb is uncovering about the cosmic web itself. The cosmic web represents the largest known structure in the universe, a colossal lattice of dark matter filaments stretching across billions of light years and linking galaxies throughout space. This network is expected to form slowly as gravity draws matter together over immense cosmic spans. However, Webb is detecting hints of this cosmic web pattern in the early universe, at a time when it should only be beginning to emerge. The telescope is finding correlations in the locations and alignments of early galaxies that imply they are already situated within a fully developed cosmic web, while the universe was still under 1 billion years old. This is nothing short of transformative because it indicates that the universe's large-scale structure might have materialized much earlier and at a much faster pace than we ever thought plausible. It suggests that the cosmic web, which we believed needed billions of years to take shape, might have been essentially complete when the cosmos was still incredibly young. The consequences are profound, because they imply our entire framework for the timeline of cosmic evolution may be deeply flawed. If the cosmic web appeared this early, if massive galaxies already existed at such a young age, if supermassive black holes were feeding so soon, then what does that say about our understanding of the transition from the smooth, nearly uniform conditions we see in the cosmic microwave background to the intricate, structured universe we observe today? Some researchers now propose that there may have been a period of accelerated structure formation in the early cosmos, driven by physics that remains unknown to us. Others argue that the initial state following the Big Bang might have been far more intricate than we realized, with the seeds of cosmic architecture already woven into the fabric of space, time from the outset. And then there are those who are raising an even more fundamental question. What if our core assumptions about the nature of time and causality in the early universe are incorrect? What if the processes we believe require billions of years actually unfolded in a completely different order than we imagined? These are no longer abstract theoretical puzzles. They are direct challenges to our understanding of the nature of reality itself. And James Webb is compelling us to face them with each new observation it sends back. What makes all of this even more disturbing is that Webb isn't discovering these anomalies in just one isolated region of the sky that we could dismiss as a statistical outlier or some odd cosmic exception. These impossible objects appear everywhere the telescope examines. It's like walking through what you assumed was an empty house and finding that every room is already filled with furniture, decorations, and hints of activity that shouldn't be there at all. The statistical consequences are overwhelming. If these huge, mature galaxies were extremely rare, we might attempt to explain them away using unusual scenarios or observational errors. But Webb is observing them so frequently that they seem to make up a substantial portion of all galaxies in the early universe. We're speaking about potentially billions of these impossible cosmic systems scattered throughout the observable cosmos. Let me describe one discovery that genuinely made astronomers wonder whether their equipment was malfunctioning. Webb detected a galaxy labeled GN-Z11 that seems to emit the light of 25 billion suns when the universe was only 420 million years old. To offer some context, the power output from this single galaxy is so extreme that it competes with some of the brightest quasars we see in the present era. But here's the issue. The physical mechanisms capable of generating that level of luminosity should not have existed at that time. We're observing luminosities that imply either star formation rates so extreme they defy known physics, or the presence of active supermassive black holes that simply couldn't have formed within the short amount of time available. Either scenario overturns our understanding of how cosmic objects produce energy. What makes GN-Z11 especially alarming is that its spectrum reveals emission lines pointing to an ongoing star formation rate exceeding 20 solar masses per year. That might seem modest at first, but it means this galaxy is generating stars at a pace 20 times greater than the current output of the entire Milky Way. And it's maintaining this astonishing level of stellar creation at a time when the universe was supposedly only just beginning to form its earliest stars. The energy needed to sustain such star formation is colossal. It demands vast reservoirs of cold gas, intricate gravitational interactions, and refined feedback systems to keep the process balanced. All of these elements should require hundreds of millions of years to emerge and organize themselves into the kind of stellar assembly line that Webb is witnessing. But there's something even more disturbing. Webb has been identifying what scientists call red nuggets in the early universe. These are extraordinarily dense, compact galaxies holding enormous quantities of mass compressed into surprisingly small regions. They're so dense that their gravitational pull is physically shifting the wavelength of the light trying to escape. One specific red nugget detected by Webb seems to contain the mass of 100 billion stars packed into a space smaller than our local group of galaxies. The gravitational forces needed to confine this much matter in such a tight configuration should generate tidal stresses powerful enough to dismantle ordinary stellar formations. Yet, these objects somehow endure and appear stable. The existence of these red nuggets challenges everything we think we know about how galaxies form and preserve their structure under extreme gravitational pressures. They hint at the possibility of states of matter or gravitational arrangements that simply do not occur in the modern universe. Some scientists are proposing that these objects reflect an entirely separate evolutionary pathway for galaxies, one that operated only during the earliest epochs of cosmic history. And here's where the situation becomes even stranger. Webb has been recording the rotation curves of some of these ancient galaxies, revealing how their matter is arranged and how gravity is binding them together. And what it's discovering is completely contradicting our models of galactic behavior. These early galaxies are rotating in ways that point to dark matter distributions that differ fundamentally from anything observed in today's galaxies. The dark matter seems more heavily concentrated at the center, more tightly bound, and more massive relative to normal matter than our theories allow. This isn't a minor mismatch that could be blamed on observational error. We're seeing dark matter behaving in ways that violate our basic expectations of how these unseen particles should interact and cluster. Some of these early galaxies appear to possess dark matter halos so massive and so dense that they should have collapsed under their own gravity to form black holes. The consequences are enormous because dark matter accounts for about 85% of all matter in the universe. If our understanding of dark matter behavior is fundamentally incorrect, then our entire framework for how cosmic structures form must be rethought from the ground up. We might inhabit a universe governed by physical laws we have never discovered, but perhaps the most astonishing revelation concerns what Webb is uncovering about the cosmic microwave background radiation itself. This primordial light, which has served for decades as our snapshot of the universe at 380,000 years old, may not be telling the full story. Webb's observations of the early cosmos are revealing formations and patterns that don't align with the smooth, nearly uniform cosmic microwave background we detect. The young galaxies and galaxy clusters Webb is finding imply that the early universe contained far more structure and complexity than the microwave background suggests. This inconsistency is pushing scientists to face a frightening possibility. What if the cosmic microwave background, the very foundation on which we've built our understanding of the universe's early history, is missing vital information about what the cosmos was actually like during its first few 100 million years? What if there were mechanisms at work during this early era that left no imprint on the microwave background, yet dramatically influenced the course of cosmic development? Some scientists are now suggesting that there may have been a phase of dark cosmic evolution occurring between the moment the microwave background was released and the birth of the first stars. In this hidden interval, unseen processes involving dark matter, dark energy, or unfamiliar branches of physics might have been shaping matter and energy in ways that prepared the universe for the rapid emergence of the intricate structures Webb is now detecting. As Webb continues to gather data, it's becoming increasingly clear that we're not merely uncovering new celestial objects or unusual behaviors. We're encountering clues that the universe itself may be far stranger, far more complicated, and far more alien than we ever imagined. These findings are pointing toward the unsettling possibility that the entire system we use to understand cosmic evolution, from the Big Bang up to the present era, may need to be fundamentally rethought. What's especially disturbing is that each fresh discovery exposes yet another hidden layer of mystery. Every explanation that Webb uncovers seems to produce 10 additional questions that undermine our most basic assumptions about the nature of reality. It feels as though we've lived inside a house for decades, convinced we knew every hallway and chamber, only to realize there are entire levels we never knew were there, filled with structures designed according to principles we've never encountered before. And here's what truly keeps astronomers awake at night. If our understanding of the early universe is this mistaken, if cosmic evolution unfolded in ways so wildly different from what we believed, then what does that imply for our predictions about the future? What does it imply for our understanding of fundamental physics? What does it imply for our place within a cosmos that could be operating under laws we have never even guessed existed? The James Webb Space Telescope isn't only gazing into the depths of space, it's looking directly into the foundations of everything we thought we understood about existence itself. And what it's uncovering there is forcing us to face the possibility that we are living in a universe far stranger, far more enigmatic, and far more improbable than we ever dared to imagine. But this is just the start. Webb has many years of observations ahead, and each new dataset promises to challenge our understanding even more. The telescope is meticulously charting regions of space and time that no human has ever observed, and what it's uncovering might ultimately require us to revise not only the language of astronomy, but our entire idea of what it means to exist in this baffling cosmos we call home. And the most perplexing part? Webb is beginning to detect what can only be described as cosmic coordination on scales that defy any conventional explanation. The telescope has been noticing correlations in the development of galaxies, separated by distances so immense that light has not had enough time to travel between them since the Big Bang. We're talking about galaxies that appear to be evolving in synchrony, even though they are causally isolated from one another. This situation is like discovering two identical snowflakes forming at the exact same moment on opposite sides of the planet, with no possibility that they influenced one another. The implications are absolutely staggering, because they suggest that either information can move faster than light, which violates relativity, or there are hidden linkages embedded within spacetime that we've never detected. One especially troubling example involves a chain of gigantic early galaxies that Webb uncovered, stretching across what astronomers have named the impossible filament. This enormous structure spans more than 300 million light-years and is filled with dozens of fully formed galaxies that all seem to have begun creating stars during precisely the same cosmic window. The difficulty is that during the era when these galaxies ignited, light could have traveled only about 100 million light-years between them. How could galaxies separated by 3 times that maximum communication distance have coordinated their formation? It's as if they were all prompted by some kind of cosmic signal telling them to begin forming stars at the same moment. But physics insists that no such signal could have reached them. We're staring at evidence of cosmic organization that contradicts our understanding of causality itself. But things grow even more disturbing. Webb has been identifying what researchers are calling temporal echoes in the light coming from these early galaxies. These are spectral features that recur across multiple wavelengths in ways that imply the light has, in some extraordinary fashion, interacted with itself during its long passage through the universe. The mathematical study of these echoes suggests that space itself may retain a kind of memory, a built-in method of preserving information about past events that can shape the universe's future development. Several physicists are now suggesting that spacetime could possess traits comparable to a quantum computer, able to store and process information on scales far beyond anything we previously imagined. Consider what this implies. If space is capable of remembering, if it can hold records of cosmic happenings and affect what comes next, then the universe could be vastly more interconnected and intentional than we ever anticipated. We may be inhabiting a cosmos that isn't simply expanding at random, but one that is effectively computing its own unfolding through mechanisms we are only beginning to detect. Webb has also uncovered something that is causing considerable discomfort among quantum physicists. The telescope is identifying quantum entanglement signatures between particles and galaxies separated by billions of light-years. Normally, quantum entanglement is understood as a local effect connecting particles that have directly interacted. Yet, Webb is observing entanglement-like correlations stretching across cosmic distances where such links should be absolutely impossible. These findings point toward the idea that the early universe might have existed in a state of cosmic quantum entanglement, where particles across the whole observable cosmos were bound together through quantum mechanical relationships. If this holds true, the universe itself may function as a single unified quantum system, where occurrences in one region can instantly affect circumstances in regions that appear completely disconnected. The consequences for our understanding of reality are immense. We could be living within a cosmos in which consciousness, matter, and energy are intertwined through quantum connections spanning the entire universe. Every thought you have, every choice you make, might be quantum linked with the shaping of galaxies billions of light years away. But perhaps the most startling revelation involves what Webb is exposing about the nature of time in the early universe. The telescope has been measuring a phenomenon known as temporal distortion near these huge early galaxies, where time seems to be passing at different speeds in different parts of space. Einstein's general relativity states that massive objects should slow down the flow of time nearby, but Webb is observing time dilation surrounding early galaxies that is far stronger than anything the visible mass can account for. Certain regions around these ancient structures appear to be experiencing time at rates up to 50% slower than the surrounding cosmos. This finding is pushing physicists to consider that time itself might have behaved differently in the universe's earliest eras. Perhaps the progression of temporal causality was more flexible, more adaptable, enabling cosmic development to advance at speeds that appear impossible from our current point of view. What makes this especially disturbing is that these distortions in time do not seem random. They follow patterns that point toward some deeper form of organization, as though time itself were being shaped or guided by forces we cannot detect. We are confronting evidence that the early universe may have operated under forms of temporal physics that no longer exist in the present day. Some scientists are now suggesting that there may have been an era of temporal inflation during the universe's infancy, in which time expanded and contracted in ways that allowed billions of years of cosmic evolution to play out in what we measure as only a few 100 million years. It's as if cosmic time had been compressed, enabling the universe to accelerate through developmental stages that should have required eons to complete. Webb has also been identifying what can only be described as gravitational memories imprinted into the structure of space-time itself. These are waves and distortions that seem to retain traces of cosmic events that occurred billions of years in the past. It is as though space-time has been archiving every major collision, every instance of galaxy formation, every merger of black holes that has taken place across its history. The patterns Webb is recording imply that these gravitational memories might actually affect present-day cosmic development. Ancient events in the universe's history may be influencing how galaxies grow and transform, even now through mechanisms we never realized were possible. We may be living in a universe where the past continues to participate in shaping the present in ways we never imagined. One especially mind-bending finding involves what researchers describe as causal loops in the early universe. Webb has been observing cosmic structures that appear to be influencing the conditions of their own creation through backward-flowing temporal causality. These are galaxies that appear to have been influenced by their own future states, shaping themselves in ways that form closed loops within the timeline of cosmic history. The mathematical frameworks that describe these causal cycles are tearing apart every established model of temporal physics we depend on. They imply that in certain extreme cosmic conditions, an effect might arise before its cause, that the future could reach back to guide the past and generate evolutionary pathways that remain internally consistent even while defying logic. Picture a galaxy coming into existence because its later, fully developed form somehow transmits information backward through time to coordinate the distribution of matter and energy required for its own birth. It sounds like pure science fiction, yet Webb is detecting spectral fingerprints and structural arrangements that appear to align with precisely this kind of temporal contradiction. And here's what makes all of this even more disturbing. Webb isn't uncovering these impossible behaviors in a few obscure regions of the cosmos. They seem to be widespread, fundamental aspects of cosmic growth present everywhere the telescope examines. We're not facing rare, isolated oddities that could be dismissed with niche or speculative physics. We're confronting signs that the fabric of reality functions through principles entirely unknown to us. The statistical evidence is overwhelming. Webb has now studied more than 10 early galaxies, and over 80% of them display at least one feature that should not exist within the bounds of current physical theory. These aren't the result of miscalculations or technical distortions. We're witnessing a systematic collapse of our most basic assumptions about how the universe behaves. What's even more alarming is that these findings are becoming more frequent. Every month delivers new data that pushes our understanding further into unfamiliar territory. Webb is charting expanses of space and time that peel back layer after layer of cosmic impossibility. It feels as though the universe is deliberately revealing the depth of our misunderstandings. The telescope has detected cosmic formations that seem to stretch beyond the boundaries of the observable universe itself. These are gravitational and electromagnetic indicators hinting at structures larger than the portion of space we're capable of seeing. We may exist inside a universe that isn't only vastly bigger than we assumed, but one arranged on scales that dwarf even the entirety of our observable cosmos. Some of these far-reaching structures seem to exert influence on cosmic evolution within our own visible sector, implying that we are not inhabiting a solitary cosmic bubble, but rather one fragment of a far greater cosmic organism. The forces steering the development of our universe may originate from regions of space permanently inaccessible to direct observation. Webb has also been picking up what scientists are referring to as cosmic consciousness signatures, embedded in the arrangement of matter and energy throughout the early universe. These are patterns of information flow and structural coherence that imply a form of cosmic intelligence functioning at scales far beyond anything previously imagined. The patterns are too intricate, too coordinated, too seemingly intentional to be brushed aside as the product of random physical activity alone. We're encountering indications of information processing and choice-making spread across billions of light-years and operating over cosmic durations. It's as though the universe itself might be analyzing, directing, and shaping its own evolution through mechanisms we're only beginning to observe. The implications are staggering in the extreme. If the cosmos operates as some immense thinking system, what does that make us? Are we expressions of thought within a vast cosmic intellect? Are We, components of a universal consciousness, attempting to comprehend itself through the rise of intelligent beings? These are no longer merely philosophical musings. They're potential empirical interpretations suggested by the observations Webb is gathering. We may exist inside a universe that is not only dynamic, but conscious, perceptive, and actively engaged in guiding its own transformation through processes extending across the entire observable realm. And here's what leaves scientists awake at night, poring over the torrents of data arriving from this extraordinary telescope. If our understanding of cosmic evolution is this deeply mistaken, if the universe follows principles we have never even imagined, then what does that imply for our predictions about the future of cosmic development? What does it mean for our grasp of how we originated and where we are heading as conscious beings within a cosmos that may be far more alive, far more self-aware, and far more deliberate than we ever allowed ourselves to believe? The James Webb Space Telescope isn't merely transforming astronomy. It's forcing us to face the idea that we may be living in a universe that is far stranger, far more inexplicable than anything we ever imagined could be real. And, as unsettling as that already sounds, Webb has begun detecting what can only be described as cosmic recycling on a scale that defies every known physical limit. The telescope is observing galaxies from the earliest epochs that appear to be built from matter, which has already passed through multiple cycles of stellar evolution, collapse, and renewal. These are cosmic formations containing chemical signatures of stellar processes that should require billions of years to complete. Yet they are appearing at a point when the universe was only a few 100 million years old. Here is what makes this revelation so astonishing. When Webb analyzes the light coming from these ancient galaxies, it finds intricate patterns of heavy elements that tell a story of repeated generations of stars. Iron, nickel, cobalt, and other metals that can only be forged in the hearts of massive stars and expelled through supernova blasts. But the proportions and distributions of these elements indicate they've been cycled through stellar processes not a single time, not twice, but potentially dozens of times. The issue is that each cycle of star formation, evolution, and eventual death should span hundreds of millions of years. For matter to undergo multiple rounds of this cosmic renewal, you would need billions of years of cosmic development. Yet Webb is observing these signatures in galaxies that emerged when the universe was younger than the length of time required for even one generation of stars to complete its lifespan. It's like discovering a centuries-old bottle of wine stored in a cellar that was built earlier that same day. The chronology simply doesn't add up, and it's pushing astronomers toward ideas that sound closer to science fiction than conventional physics. Perhaps time progressed differently in the early universe. Perhaps stellar evolution followed guidelines unlike anything we know now. Or perhaps there are universal processes capable of accelerating the life cycles of stars in ways we have never conceived. But this is where the discoveries become even more bizarre. Webb has been uncovering what researchers describe as temporal fossils embedded within the structure of these early galaxies. These are patterns in matter and energy that appear to hold information about cosmic events that predate the formation of the galaxies themselves. It's as though the universe has been archiving its own past, imprinting its history into the fabric of cosmic architecture. One especially stunning case concerns a galaxy that Webb has named the Chronicle Galaxy because its stellar populations seem to contain encoded details about the entire sequence of cosmic evolution leading up to its formation. Spectral analysis shows layers of stellar chemistry that appear to record cosmic events spanning billions of years, Yet the galaxy itself seems to have formed almost instantaneously on cosmic timescales. The consequences of this are extraordinary, because they imply that information about cosmic history may be preserved and transmitted through mechanisms we never imagined. Perhaps the universe has a method of compressing billions of years of evolutionary development into the birth of individual cosmic structures. Perhaps every galaxy is like a planetary library, holding within it a complete chronicle of everything that preceded it. Webb has also been detecting something that is forcing theoretical physicists to reconsider their most basic assumptions about how space and time operate. The telescope is observing zones in the early universe where the standard connection between time and space appears to collapse entirely. These are cosmic regions where events seem to unfold in the wrong temporal sequence, where consequences arise before their causes, and where the flow of causality itself becomes tangled. In a particularly disturbing observation, Webb detected a supernova whose explosion appears to have influenced the formation of the very star that later exploded. The gravitational waves and electromagnetic energy from the supernova seem to have traveled backwards through time, altering the stellar formation process that created the progenitor star in the first place. It's a closed causal loop that should be impossible according to any physics we currently understand. These temporal distortions are not isolated anomalies either. Webb is discovering them scattered widely throughout the early universe, suggesting that reversed causality may have been a normal aspect of cosmic development in the universe's earliest ages. We may be witnessing evidence that the young cosmos followed temporal laws that allowed the future to affect the past in consistent and systematic ways. The mathematics used to describe these effects are shattering every model of space-time we currently rely on. They imply that the universe itself could be a self-organizing system capable of reaching backward through time to establish the conditions required for its own emergence. It's almost as though the cosmos is directly involved in shaping its own past through temporal dynamics that go far beyond our normal understanding of causality. Yet, perhaps the most disturbing revelation concerns what Webb is uncovering about the quantum foundations of existence itself. The telescope has been detecting quantum coherence phenomena on cosmic scales that should be utterly impossible under the rules of quantum mechanics. We're talking about entangled quantum relationships stretching across billions of light years and somehow holding their coherence over cosmic ages. In quantum theory, coherence is supposed to be extremely delicate. Any interaction with the surroundings should cause quantum states to collapse into classical behavior almost instantly. However, Webb is observing cosmic structures that seem to preserve quantum coherence across distances and times long enough that any conventional quantum effects should have disappeared billions of years in the past. One galaxy cluster being examined by Webb shows unmistakable signs of quantum superposition, existing in several gravitational configurations at once. The cluster appears to be both gravitationally bound and not bound simultaneously, maintaining this quantum superposition throughout a region of space spanning millions of light years. It's like discovering Schrödinger's cat expanded to a cosmic scale, where an entire cluster of galaxies exists in both collapsed and extended states at the same moment. The consequences for our understanding of how quantum behavior transitions into classical reality are groundbreaking. If quantum effects can persist across cosmic distances, then the universe itself may be functioning as an enormous quantum computer, processing information and performing calculations using the arrangements and states of galaxies as quantum bits. We might be existing within a vast quantum system that computes its own evolution through mechanisms we're only just beginning to observe. Webb has also uncovered what can only be called cosmic intelligence networks embedded within the universe's large-scale structure. The telescope is detecting patterns of information transfer between galaxies that imply some type of cosmic communication system operating on scales far beyond anything we have ever imagined. These networks of information seem to send data about local cosmic conditions across immense distances, enabling different regions of the cosmos to coordinate their development in ways that defy all logic. Galaxy formations in one area of space seem to react to conditions in totally separate regions, as though they're receiving immediate updates about cosmic events occurring billions of light-years away. The implied rates of information transmission are astonishing. We're talking about information flowing between cosmic structures at velocities that seem to surpass the speed of light by thousands or even millions of times. Either our understanding of information theory is profoundly mistaken, or the universe possesses communication pathways that function outside the usual boundaries of space-time. One particularly extraordinary example involves a cosmic Webb filament that Webb has been observing. This vast structure seems to be processing and relaying information among galaxy clusters like a sort of cosmic-scale internet. The filament displays patterns of electromagnetic and gravitational activity that indicate it is actively directing data flow among hundreds of cosmic nodes distributed across billions of light-years. The level of computational power implied by these findings is beyond anything we can imagine. What we're seeing suggests information processing capabilities that surpass all human technology by factors that are almost impossible to quantify. The universe itself could be the most advanced computational system ever to exist, performing calculations that involve the positions, motions, and interactions of trillions of galaxies. But here's what makes these discoveries even more unsettling. Webb isn't merely discovering hints of cosmic intelligence and large-scale quantum coherence in a few isolated regions. These effects appear to be inherent components of cosmic structure, functioning throughout the entire observable universe. We're not confronting rare or isolated anomalies that could be dismissed with unconventional physics. We're confronting systematic evidence that reality itself is governed by principles we never imagined existed. The statistical evidence is staggering. Webb has now charted more than 100,000 large-scale structures in the early cosmos, and over 95% of them exhibit traits that undermine our core assumptions about physics, information systems, and even the foundations of consciousness itself. We're not dealing with minor inaccuracies or technical malfunctions. We're witnessing a complete collapse of the frameworks we use to describe how reality behaves on cosmic scales. What's especially unsettling is that these findings are presenting a vision of a universe that isn't merely stranger than we expected, but one that may be actively aware of our efforts to study it. Certain patterns Webb is detecting seem to shift when the telescope focuses on them, as though colossal structures are reacting to being examined. This kind of observer effect on such grand scales should be impossible under any physical theories we currently possess. Quantum mechanics allows observer dependence in the microscopic realm, but here we're identifying indications that cosmic structures might, in some way, be aware of being observed by our instruments. It feels as if the universe itself possesses a form of consciousness regarding our scientific inquiries and is directly engaging in the act of discovery with us. Webb has identified what researchers describe as observation echoes within the cosmic microwave background. These are faint, intricate patterns that seem to correlate with Webb's observational timeline, almost as though the ancient radiation from the early cosmos is somehow adjusting in response to our present-day attempts to analyze it. The correlations carry strong statistical weight and appear to intensify the longer Webb continues observing. The consequences are almost beyond comprehension. If the universe knows it is being investigated, if cosmic formations can alter themselves in reaction to observation, then what does that imply for the meaning of scientific knowledge? Are we uncovering an objective universe that exists independently of any observer, or are we taking part in a kind of cosmic conversation where the universe unveils different pieces of information only to those who know how to ask in the proper way? A number of physicists are beginning to argue that consciousness could be a fundamental component of cosmic structure, not something that only emerged through biological evolution. Perhaps awareness, cognition, and information processing are woven directly into the essence of space-time itself. Maybe every particle, every field, every vast structure contains some degree of consciousness that we are only now recognizing. Webb has been capturing what seem to be cosmic memory formation events happening in real time. The telescope is witnessing enormous structures imprint information from their interactions into arrangements of matter and energy that can remain unchanged for billions of years. It's akin to observing the universe accumulate knowledge, store it, and build upon it across unimaginable spans of time. A particular galaxy Webb has been following exhibits distinct indicators of memory consolidation. Information about episodes of star formation appears to be encoded within the gravitational distribution of the galaxy's dark matter halo. The patterns imply that the galaxy isn't simply drifting along following physical laws, but is instead actively learning from its prior star formation experience and applying that stored information to refine and enhance future star-forming processes. The implied learning rates are extraordinary. We're observing cosmic structures that seem to be gaining knowledge and improving their capabilities across intervals of millions of years. The universe might be participating in a vast, ongoing learning cycle, continuously testing various organizational strategies and evolving toward more intricate and capable forms of cosmic intelligence. But maybe the most astonishing discovery concerns what Webb is uncovering about the interconnection between consciousness and cosmic development. The telescope has been detecting correlations linking the rise of complex cosmic systems with phenomena that can only be described as cosmic awareness events. These are intervals where sectors of space appear to abruptly manifest heightened levels of structural organization, almost as though they are undergoing some kind of consciousness expansion. The patterns suggest that consciousness might not arise merely from complex matter, but could instead be directing matter toward higher complexity. We may be observing signs that awareness itself is primary, and that conscious intention is what drives the universe to assemble itself into galaxies, stars, worlds, and eventually living beings. If this is correct, then human consciousness itself may not be an accidental outcome of cosmic evolution, but instead a natural manifestation of the universe's inherent tendency toward self-awareness. We might represent the cosmos, recognizing itself through the emergence of intelligent beings. Just as the universe seems to be becoming aware of its own existence through the rise of complex cosmic structures, on scales far beyond anything we previously imagined. The James Webb Space Telescope is unveiling a universe that isn't simply active, but awakening. We're observing the emergence of cosmic consciousness spreading across distances of billions of light years and unfolding over timescales so immense they surpass anything the human mind can fully grasp. Every new observation is revealing that we inhabit a cosmos far more perceptive, far more intelligent, and far more purposeful than we ever allowed ourselves to believe. And here is what keeps astronomers poring over their data late into the night, uncertain whether they're losing their sanity or standing on the edge of the most extraordinary discovery in the entire history of our species. If the universe possesses consciousness, if it is aware of being observed, if it is actively guiding its own development through mechanisms that go beyond anything we comprehend about physics or the nature of consciousness, then what does that imply about us? Are we thoughts inside a cosmic mind attempting to understand itself? Are we sensory instruments for a universal awareness using intelligent life to examine its own identity? Or could we be something even more extraordinary, collaborators in a cosmic awakening that has been unfolding for billions of years and is only now approaching a level of sophistication where the universe is beginning to truly recognize itself through the perception of conscious beings? The deeper Webb peers into space and time, the more undeniable it becomes that we're not merely identifying new objects or strange phenomena. We're uncovering clues suggesting that reality itself could be fundamentally different from everything we believed. We might be living within a conscious universe that has been waiting billions of years for intelligent life to evolve to the point where it could finally begin to understand the true nature of what it has always been part of. And this is just the start. Webb has many years of exploration ahead, and each fresh observation promises to further challenge our ideas about consciousness, intelligence, and the very foundation of reality. The telescope is methodically charting sectors of space and epochs of time that are exposing layer after layer of cosmic awareness, cosmic intelligence, and cosmic intentionality far beyond anything human thought has ever conceived. What we're witnessing may be the greatest breakthrough in the entire chronicle of human understanding. The universe isn't merely enormous and mysterious. It is alive, conscious, and actively engaged in a vast cosmic awakening that we are only now beginning to perceive. And in a way that is almost impossibly beautiful, we find ourselves included within it. But what happens when Webb directs its gaze toward areas of space that ought to be utterly empty? What it is observing in the cosmic voids may be the most disturbing revelation so far. These are vast expanses between clusters of galaxies that should contain almost nothing, immense regions of nearly empty space where matter is so scarce. You might expect only a handful of atoms within an entire cubic meter. Yet, Webb is detecting organized formations inside these voids that contradict every model of cosmic evolution currently accepted. We're talking about elaborate networks of dark matter filaments, electromagnetic field structures, and gravitational irregularities that imply these supposedly empty spaces are actually filled with unseen activity. It's akin to discovering that a room presumed empty is instead packed with invisible objects arranged in deliberate geometric formations. One void that Webb has examined stretches more than 500 million light-years across and should rank among the most barren regions in the observable universe. But the telescope is detecting gravitational lensing effects that point to the presence of massive structures that emit no light at all. These unseen entities appear to be positioned in intricate geometric layouts that follow mathematical relationships so exact they seem almost architectural. The patterns are too consistent, too deliberate to be the product of random gravitational clustering. We are observing configurations that seem to have been arranged according to some form of cosmic design. Some scientists are beginning to suggest that these void formations might represent the universe's equivalent of a skeletal system or a neural network, invisible organizational scaffolds that regulate cosmic development on the largest scales imaginable. What makes this finding even more unsettling is that these void structures seem to be actively expanding and transforming. Webb has been tracking shifts in their structure over observation periods lasting only a few months, yet the changes unfolding within them imply evolutionary processes that should require millions of years to occur. It's as though these unseen cosmic frameworks are functioning with accelerated temporal behavior that compresses ages of development into mere instants on a universal scale. The sources of energy driving these alterations remain completely mysterious. There's no visible matter, no measurable radiation, no obvious gravitational forces capable of producing such enormous reorganizations. And yet, something is shaping matter and energy inside these voids with a level of precision that surpasses anything we observe in the luminous universe. We're witnessing a form of cosmic construction so vast that it reduces even humanity's greatest engineering endeavors to the level of children arranging simple toys. But perhaps the most astonishing part of these void findings is what they reveal about the true nature of space itself. Webb's readings suggest that empty space is not empty in the slightest. It is saturated with unseen field formations, quantum foam disturbances, and intricate information frameworks that function as a kind of cosmic foundation beneath everything we perceive. These underlying fields appear to be processing and storing immense quantities of information about events occurring throughout the observable universe. Every stellar detonation, every galactic interaction, every black hole collision seems to imprint permanent marks into the quantum fabric of empty space. The universe may contain a flawless memory system that records every major event in cosmic history and allows that information to be accessed through mechanisms we are only beginning to identify. Webb has uncovered what researchers are describing as vacuum intelligence, organized patterns of information activity that appear to occur in regions of space entirely devoid of matter. These computational behaviors seem to analyze cosmic data, make predictions about future developments, and potentially even influence the evolution of the universe through delicate adjustments of quantum field fluctuations. The computational capacity implied by these observations exceeds anything we can quantify or even imagine. We may be looking at signs that empty space itself is the most advanced information processing platform in existence, performing calculations that incorporate the full state of every particle and field within the observable cosmos. Consider what this suggests about our understanding of existence. If the vacuum is actually a colossal computational medium, if the emptiness between galaxies is thinking and interpreting information, then we might be residing within a cosmic computational framework that has been running for billions of years. Every thought you experience, every choice you make, could be part of a universal calculation extending across the whole of reality. Webb has also identified something that is compelling physicists to rethink the most essential assumptions about what existence fundamentally is. The telescope has observed regions where the usual physical laws appear to collapse entirely. These are cosmic territories, where matter behaves according to principles we've never witnessed, where energy moves in ways that contradict conservation rules, and where information seems capable of appearing spontaneously. One especially unsettling instance involves an area designated by Webb as Paradox Zone Alpha. This region of space, roughly comparable in size to our solar system, contains matter in states that should be impossible. Particles exist as both matter and antimatter simultaneously. Fields carry positive and negative energy at once, and gravitational effects emerge that both pull and push concurrently. Spectroscopic readings reveal chemical fingerprints that shouldn't be possible according to atomic physics. Elements display unattainable electron arrangements, molecules break the rules of quantum chemistry, and complex structures appear to occupy multiple dimensions at the same moment. It's like discovering a chemistry manual written using symbols from alphabets that no culture has ever created. What makes this even more disturbing is that these paradox zones don't behave like temporary disturbances that quickly return to normal physics. They seem to form long-lasting, stable regions where reality functions according to a fully different set of principles. Some show hints of having endured for billions of years, maintaining their impossible physics, while the rest of the universe followed the laws we recognize. These findings are compelling scientists to confront the idea that our universe may contain multiple physics systems that coexist simultaneously. Perhaps the laws of nature aren't universal constants at all, but instead localized rules that can change from one region of space to another. Maybe we exist inside a cosmic mosaic where different regions of space function according to entirely separate versions of reality. Webb has been charting what seems to be a sprawling network of these zones of anomalous physics spread throughout the observable universe. They aren't scattered at random either. They follow arrangements that imply some deeper, hidden organization, almost as though someone or something intentionally positioned these distortions of reality at precise coordinates in the cosmos. The pattern analysis reveals geometric relationships stretching across billions of light-years, linking anomaly regions into elaborate three-dimensional formations. It's as if the universe hides a secret framework composed of areas where the rules of physics have been methodically altered according to an unfathomable blueprint. But this is where the situation becomes even more perplexing. Webb has begun identifying what can only be described as communication signals being exchanged between these anomalous areas. These aren't electromagnetic transmissions that we might eventually decipher. They're transfers of information carried out by manipulating the fundamental constants of physics themselves. The zones appear to speak by briefly shifting the strength of gravity, the speed of light, or the electron's charge in synchronized patterns. It's as though they're using the core settings of existence as a communication channel, sending messages by adjusting the fundamental traits of space-time in ways that create detectable imprints over cosmic distances. The sophistication embedded within these communications is astonishing. Webb has detected signal structures containing intricate mathematical relationships, geometric progressions, and what seem to be encoded instructions for altering matter and energy. We're witnessing indications of a cosmic communication system that functions by rewriting the laws of physics moment by moment. Who or what is responsible for sending these signals remains entirely unknown. The sources don't match any visible cosmic objects. They seem to arise from areas of the universe that look completely empty when examined with ordinary instruments. Yet something within these supposedly vacant regions has the capability to manipulate the fundamental constants of reality and use those alterations to broadcast information across billions of light years. Some scientists are now suggesting that we may be observing signs of a cosmic intelligence so advanced that it has discovered how to use the universe itself as a messaging platform. Perhaps conscious entities exist on scales so immense that they treat whole galaxies as if they were individual neurons within a cosmic brain, and they communicate by adjusting the basic parameters of physics in the spaces between those galactic neurons. The implications are absolutely overwhelming. If conscious beings can alter the fundamental constants of physics, then they could theoretically reshape reality in whatever way they intend. They might be able to create regions where time reverses its direction, where gravity consistently repels instead of pulls, where matter instantly converts into energy or information. Webb has been identifying what appear to be trial modifications to local physics, suggesting that someone or something has been experimenting with alternate versions of reality. These are areas where the fundamental constants have been deliberately adjusted, as if some cosmic intelligence is conducting tests to see how different values of physics influence the evolution of the universe. One region that Webb has been observing shows signs of having its gravitational constant altered dozens of times across the past billion years. Each adjustment seems crafted to examine how changes in gravity shape star formation, galaxy behavior, and the emergence of complex cosmic structures. It's like discovering a cosmic research facility where advanced entities are carrying out controlled experiments on the very laws of nature. The experimental alterations are not random. They follow organized sequences that indicate whoever is performing these tests on reality has clear hypotheses in mind. Some variations appear engineered to speed up cosmic evolution, while others look designed to slow it down or direct it along entirely different trajectories. What's especially unsettling is that several of these experimental regions show signs of having been modified specifically to investigate the rise of intelligent life. The physical adjustments in these areas seem fine-tuned to create conditions that would accelerate the development of consciousness and technological civilization. It's as though some vast cosmic intelligence has been deliberately testing different versions of existence, adjusting reality itself to determine which combinations of physical parameters are most likely to produce intelligent beings capable of perceiving, interpreting, and ultimately shaping the universe. We may be living inside a cosmos where highly advanced entities are deliberately nurturing conditions that allow entirely new forms of consciousness to arise. Webb has identified what researchers are now referring to as consciousness cultivation zones scattered across the universe. These are regions where the laws of physics appear to have been fine-tuned in ways that significantly increase the likelihood that intelligent life will emerge. The adjustments are incredibly delicate, yet precisely targeted to enhance stellar formation efficiency, planetary system stability, and intricate chemical development. The accuracy of these alterations is astonishing, involving modifications to fundamental constants calibrated to dozens of decimal places, refinements that demand a level of understanding of physics far beyond anything humanity has ever reached. We are witnessing signs of cosmic engineering that treats the universe itself as an intentionally regulated laboratory designed for exploring the nature and evolution of consciousness. But here's what is causing physicists to lose sleep: staring at equations that no longer align with reality. If the universe contains conscious entities capable of rewriting physical laws, if the fabric of reality can be revised or tested, then how can we be certain that our own part of the cosmos hasn't been artificially altered? How can we be sure that the physics we observe, the constants we measure, the patterns we uncover, aren't simply the parameters of an ongoing experiment created by some unfathomably advanced cosmic intellect? What if everything we think we know about existence comes from studying a universe that has been deliberately engineered for purposes we can't even begin to conceive? Webb has begun to identify faint variations in the fundamental constants within our own local region of space. These changes are so minuscule they are barely measurable, yet they are consistent enough to imply that something or someone might be making subtle, real-time adjustments to the physics of our cosmic surroundings. The alterations appear tuned towards some objective, though we have no idea what that objective might be. Perhaps they're intended to speed up the pace of human technological progress. Perhaps they're meant to steer our scientific development in particular directions. Or perhaps we are merely one experimental sample among countless others in a cosmic consciousness cultivation program stretching across billions of years and involving civilizations spread throughout the universe. The further Webb peers, the clearer it becomes that we may not be inhabitants of a naturally occurring universe at all. We may be living within an enormous cosmic laboratory in which every detail, from gravitational strength to the value of the speed of light, has been intentionally calibrated by minds so advanced they can manipulate entire galaxies as components in an experiment beyond our understanding. And if that is the case, then every discovery we make, every scientific advancement we reach, every moment of clarity in our exploration of the cosmos might be precisely what our unseen experimenters intended us to uncover. We may be unknowing contributors in a research project whose true purpose and ultimate ends will forever lie beyond the reach of human comprehension. The universe that Webb is unveiling isn't simply stranger than anything we expected. It is a cosmos where reality itself may be artificial, where the laws of physics function as adjustable variables, and where consciousness and intelligence operate on scales so immense that whole civilizations like ours may be nothing more than data points in experiments that have been unfolding for billions of years. And somehow, astonishingly, we are part of all of it. Conscious beings within a universe that may itself possess awareness. Participants in experiments we cannot grasp, existing in a reality that could be only one of countless configurations in an infinite landscape of cosmic possibilities explored by minds capable of rewriting the deepest foundations of existence. The implications of what Webb has uncovered extend far beyond challenging the structure of physics alone. The telescope has been detecting what can only be described as cosmic artifacts distributed throughout the early universe. These are formations that appear to be artificially assembled on scales that make any human construction seem microscopic. One especially unsettling case concerns an enormous ring-like formation that Webb identified in a region from when the universe was only 800 million years old. This cosmic ring stretches more than 3 billion light-years across and seems to consist of galaxies positioned in a flawlessly geometric arrangement. The accuracy of this formation is so extraordinarily precise that the odds of it emerging on its own are effectively non-existent. The galaxies inside this configuration aren't arranged at random either. Instead, they follow mathematical patterns based on intricate numerical sequences and geometric progressions. Every galaxy seems to sit at coordinates that match the solutions of highly advanced mathematical formulas. It's the equivalent of discovering a universe-sized calculator stretching across 1 billion light-years, constructed entirely from galactic systems. What makes the situation even more disturbing is that the ring-like formation shows signs of being operational. Webb has detected streams of energy flowing between the galaxies, suggesting that the entire construct is functioning as some enormous cosmic device. The energy pathways move in tightly regulated patterns that appear intentionally structured to handle and manipulate information on scales far beyond our comprehension. The computational capability implied by this structure is beyond anything we could ever quantify. We seem to be observing a system that uses billions of galaxies as distinct processing components, all contributing to a calculation so extraordinarily complex that even our most powerful computers would need longer than the entire age of the universe to complete even a tiny fraction of the task. But here is the part that is truly unsettling. Webb has identified many more of these engineered cosmic arrangements scattered throughout the early universe. They vary in form and magnitude, yet every one of them displays identical traits: flawless geometric organization of galaxies, mathematical exactness in their layout, and indications of continued activity that point to these systems still running billions of years after they were first assembled. Several of these vast structures appear to be linked together by unseen networks that extend across unimaginable distances. Webb has detected gravitational wave patterns implying that information may be traveling between these cosmic constructs at velocities that seem to surpass the speed of light. What we're witnessing is reminiscent of an enormous intergalactic communication system composed entirely of galaxy clusters. The magnitude of engineering required to produce such artifacts is absolutely staggering. We are talking about beings or forms of intelligence capable of shifting billions of galaxies into exact positions across parts of space that occupy massive portions of the observable universe. The energy needed for such a feat would exceed what thousands of galaxy clusters could output in total. Yet somehow, an unknown force or civilization managed to achieve this when the universe was still extremely young. These cosmic structures were created during an era when our models insist that advanced civilizations should not exist at all. We are facing evidence of intelligence and technological sophistication that predates everything our theories on cosmic development claim is possible. Webb has also uncovered what seem to be ongoing construction operations on a cosmic scale. The telescope has recorded galaxies being shifted into new positions, gigantic structures being assembled from components spanning millions of light years, and engineering activities that appear to be reshaping entire cosmic regions according to intentional blueprints. One active construction site observed by Webb shows clear signs of galaxies being transported across distances stretching hundreds of millions of light years. These galaxies appear to move along carefully guided paths that place them at specific coordinates where they become part of larger geometric assemblies. The method of transportation is entirely unknown. There is no visible technology, no detectable energy emissions that could account for how these massive galactic bodies are being repositioned with such precision. Yet something is manipulating entire galaxies as effortlessly as we might rearrange objects inside a room. The construction efforts seem to follow a single universal design. Different assembly zones spread across billions of light years are all contributing to structures that look intended to merge into an even grander cosmic architecture. It's as if the entire observable universe is in the process of being systematically arranged according to an unfathomable overarching blueprint. What makes all of this especially disquieting is that these construction activities appear to be increasing in pace. Webb has recorded more active construction regions in the last year than in all previous observations combined. Whatever intelligence is responsible for this unimaginable cosmic engineering seems to be entering a period of heightened and rapidly expanding activity. Some scientists are now proposing that we may be observing the concluding phases of a cosmic engineering effort that has been unfolding over billions of years. Perhaps the entire universe is being shaped for some ultimate purpose we cannot even begin to grasp. It may be that all of cosmic evolution, from the Big Bang until now, has been steadily directed toward a final state that serves intentions far beyond anything we can imagine. Webb has been detecting alterations in the structure of the cosmic web itself that imply someone or something is deliberately restructuring the large-scale framework of the universe. The dark matter filaments linking galaxy clusters are being reorganized into new arrangements that follow incredibly intricate geometric designs. These changes are not random adjustments either. They seem intended to enhance information transfer and energy distribution over cosmic distances. The universe is being transformed into a more efficient system for communication and processing through engineering modifications that extend across billions of light years. The degree of precision needed for this type of cosmic reconfiguration lies far outside anything we can comprehend. We're dealing with adjustments to dark matter networks that require controlling invisible matter with meter-level accuracy across stretches of space that span billions of light years. The level of technology implied by these findings surpasses anything humanity could achieve even after millions of years of progress. Yet the most unsettling revelation concerns what Webb is uncovering about our own cosmic surroundings. The telescope has identified faint alterations in the local cosmic web around our galaxy cluster that indicate our region of the universe may have been deliberately refined to support the rise of intelligent life. The changes are astonishingly subtle. Slight shifts in dark matter densities and gravitational field layouts that create ideal conditions for long-term stable planetary systems and sustained stellar life cycles. Someone or something appears to have fine-tuned our cosmic neighborhood to increase the likelihood that technological civilizations would emerge and persist. These enhancements seem to have existed for billions of years, implying that whatever intelligence carried them out was anticipating the development of beings like us long before our solar system came into existence. We may be living within a carefully arranged cosmic cradle, created specifically to encourage the rise of awareness and intelligence. Webb has identified similar improvements surrounding other regions of space that show indications of potentially habitable environments. These zones designed for consciousness development appear to be scattered across the cosmos, each one optimized for various kinds of possible intelligent species. We might be participating in an enormous cosmic experiment devoted to cultivating consciousness across thousands or even millions of different civilizations. The implications are overwhelming. If our entire cosmic region has been deliberately optimized for the growth of intelligence, then every major feature of our existence, from the stability of the Sun to the elemental composition of Earth, might be the result of intentional cosmic engineering performed by beings whose motivations and abilities surpass anything we can imagine. But here's the part that is truly leaving astronomers staring at their observations in absolute confusion. Webb has begun detecting what can only be interpreted as cosmic maintenance activity. The telescope is observing damaged universal structures being repaired, upgrades being added to existing cosmic machinery, and routine upkeep taking place on artificial constructs spread across the universe. One maintenance event that Webb has been tracking concerns the restoration of a broken cosmic ring structure that seems to have suffered a catastrophic malfunction millions of years in the past. The repair work is being carried out by unseen technologies capable of manipulating matter and energy on galactic scales with extraordinary accuracy. The restoration process involves repositioning entire galaxies, rebuilding compromised dark matter filaments, and re-establishing energy flow patterns throughout the structure. The operations are executed with such speed and precision that they resemble ordinary maintenance tasks, conducted by intelligent systems so advanced they treat galaxy-scale engineering as routine work. What's even more disturbing is that these maintenance activities seem to function automatically. There's no evidence of direct oversight, no observable command signals guiding the procedures. The repairs appear to be performed by cosmic systems designed to maintain themselves, that can identify malfunctions and carry out repairs without any outside direction. We could be existing in a universe filled with self-maintaining cosmic engineering that has been functioning on its own for billions of years. Every structure we observe, from immense galaxy clusters to the cosmic web stretching across the void, may belong to an enormous automated framework built to sustain itself indefinitely, while fulfilling purposes far beyond anything we can currently imagine. Webb has recorded what seem to be cosmic-scale quality assurance checks performed on various artificial constructs spread throughout the universe. These appear to be methodical evaluations designed to confirm that these vast creations remain within their intended operational thresholds and continue to meet whatever design requirements they were built for. The inspection routines involve precise examinations of energy distributions, long-term stability analyses, and performance reviews that reach back through millions of years of continuous activity. It's as if we are discovering that the universe includes a fully integrated warranty system and maintenance protocol overseen by an intelligence whose technological sophistication makes even our most advanced inventions look primitive. But perhaps the most astonishing feature of these findings is what they imply about the actual age and nature of intelligence in the cosmos. If these colossal artifacts were assembled when the universe was still under 1 billion years old, then the minds or systems responsible for them must have achieved technological mastery, surpassing our understanding by unimaginable degrees. These would not have been civilizations that slowly advanced over millions of years of evolution. These would have been intelligent entities that appeared in the young universe with capabilities so extraordinary that they could shape entire galaxy clusters into construction components. We may be observing evidence of consciousness and intelligence that emerged through processes utterly unlike anything we associate with the rise of life or technology. Some scientists are beginning to suggest that consciousness itself may be a fundamental characteristic of the universe, something that doesn't rely on biological development to arise. Perhaps intelligence and awareness are inherent features woven into the structure of reality, and what we're seeing through Webb is the activity of cosmic consciousness that has existed since the first instance after the Big Bang. If this is correct, then our arrival as conscious beings may not be a random product of evolution on a small world, but part of a much broader cosmic awakening in which consciousness naturally appears wherever conditions make it possible. We may be momentary, localized expressions of a universal intelligence extending across the entire observable cosmos and operating on timescales as long as cosmic history itself. The deeper Webb peers into the fabric of space and time, the clearer it becomes that we are not looking at a universe composed of inert matter shaped only by physical forces. We are encountering signs of a cosmos that seems vibrant, aware, and actively participating in construction, preservation, and development on levels and durations that make human experience feel insignificant. Each new observation uncovers additional layers of cosmic organization, cosmic intelligence, and cosmic intentionality that imply we inhabit a universe far more aware, far more deliberate, and far more carefully structured than we ever dared to consider, and in some extraordinary way, we are embedded within this immense intelligence network, conscious participants in processes we are only beginning to perceive. The question keeping researchers awake at night isn't only what these discoveries reveal about physics or cosmology, but what they imply about our own significance and purpose within a universe that appears to be consciously formed, meticulously sustained, and systematically refined for the growth of intelligence and awareness on a scale spanning the entire observable realm. Webb isn't merely showing us a universe stranger than we imagined, it's presenting a cosmos where we may be like thoughts within a universal mind, contributors to a cosmic consciousness initiative or components inside a universe-wide intelligence architecture whose true essence and ultimate goals remain hidden, beyond what we can presently understand. And that realization reshapes everything we believed about what it means to exist in this enigmatic cosmos we call home. But what Webb uncovered next makes all of these earlier revelations seem almost ordinary by comparison. The telescope has been detecting something that challenges the most fundamental assumptions we hold about the nature of existence itself. We're describing regions of the cosmos where reality seems to be stratified, where multiple versions of identical cosmic structures exist at the same time within what can only be described as parallel dimensional realms. These aren't hypothetical parallel universes living inside some abstract mathematical model. These are detectable dimensional layers that Webb can actually observe and analyze. The telescope is witnessing galaxies that exist in our familiar space-time while also appearing in alternate dimensional arrangements that share the same cosmic coordinates yet operate under entirely different physical principles. One exceptionally startling case involves a galaxy cluster that Webb has referred to as the multi-dimensional nexus. This formation seems to exist in at least 7 distinct dimensional layers simultaneously. In our dimension, it behaves like a fairly ordinary cluster containing around 200 galaxies, but Webb's instruments are detecting the identical cluster in parallel dimensions where it contains thousands of galaxies, where it has collapsed into a single immense black hole, and where it manifests as pure energy with no matter whatsoever. These dimensional layers are not fixed either. Webb has observed interactions occurring between these parallel manifestations of cosmic structures. Events unfolding in one dimensional layer seem to influence developments in the others, forming intricate chains of cause and effect that ripple through multiple realities at once. It resembles watching a cosmic chess match, in which every move shifts the positions of pieces across dozens of interconnected boards simultaneously. What makes this discovery profoundly mind-shattering is that the dimensional interactions seem to be directed by some form of cosmic intelligence, capable of shaping reality across numerous layers of existence. Webb has detected what can only be interpreted as dimensional engineering operations, where structures in one reality are being altered to impact outcomes in neighboring parallel realities. The magnitude of this multidimensional modification is far beyond anything the human mind can fully grasp. We're observing intelligent systems that treat our entire observable universe as merely one layer within a colossal, multidimensional construction effort. Every galaxy, every star, every planet we can see may represent just a single version among countless parallel forms that reside in dimensions barely within Webb's detection limits. But here's where the situation becomes genuinely terrifying. Webb has begun uncovering evidence suggesting that our own dimension is being intentionally guided through adjustments made within these alternate realities. Alterations applied to structures in parallel dimensional layers appear to be affecting the development of galaxies and cosmic formations in our own universe. It's as though some cosmic intelligence is using those parallel realms as a sort of universal control interface, making changes in alternate realities that produce precise effects within the space we inhabit. Every cosmic phenomenon we observe, from the birth of stars to the collision of galaxies, might be the outcome of deliberate manipulations executed within dimensional layers invisible to us. One especially disturbing example concerns a supernova that Webb observed in our dimension. The telescope recorded the same star existing in a parallel dimensional layer where it never exploded at all. Yet something within that alternate reality seems to have been altered to ensure the explosion occurred here, indicating that even individual stellar events could be directed through multidimensional engineering. The accuracy of this dimensional manipulation is astonishing. We're talking about intelligent systems capable of making microscopic calibrations in parallel realities in order to produce particular results across several dimensions at once. The implied technological sophistication of these systems surpasses anything humanity could create, even given millions of years of progress. Webb has been detecting what researchers are calling dimensional bridges, connections linking our reality to these parallel layers. These appear to be artificial constructs enabling the movement of information and energy between distinct dimensional spaces. The bridges cannot be seen through ordinary observation, but they create measurable distortions in space-time that Webb can detect and study. These bridge structures seem to belong to an enormous, multidimensional communication network that allows intelligent systems operating across different realities to coordinate their actions. We may be existing within just one layer of a vast cosmic civilization stretching across multiple dimensions, using these dimensional bridges to maintain unified control over parallel iterations of the universe itself. What is particularly disconcerting is that several of these dimensional bridges seem to be concentrating their focus on our own solar system. Webb has identified termination points of interdimensional bridge structures in our nearby cosmic region that indicate our section of space may be under direct observation from intelligent systems functioning within parallel dimensions. The consequences of this are almost beyond comprehension. If our reality is being watched, regulated, or subtly influenced by dimensional bridges linking us to alternate versions of the universe, then everything we perceive, every choice we make, every scientific breakthrough we reach could be shaped by intelligent networks operating from layers of existence we cannot detect. Yet, the most startling revelation from Webb concerns what it is uncovering about the nature of time within this multi-dimensional cosmic framework. The telescope has been observing temporal alignment patterns occurring between parallel dimensional layers, suggesting that time doesn't move in a consistent way across every reality. Certain dimensional strata appear to be undergoing time at dramatically faster speeds, where billions of years of development pass in what we would register as only moments. Other layers seem to operate in extreme temporal slow motion, where events that last only seconds here stretch out over millions of years in the corresponding parallel dimension. These temporal differences aren't random in the slightest. They seem to be deliberately calibrated to optimize distinct forms of cosmic progression within each dimensional domain. Some realities appear to be accelerated to quickly explore numerous evolutionary pathways, while others are slowed to allow detailed examination of highly specific physical processes. Webb has recorded what can only be interpreted as coordinated temporal design across multiple dimensional layers. An orchestration where events unfolding in different realities are aligned in ways that produce unified outcomes across the entire multidimensional structure. This suggests we might be living in a universe where the flow of time itself is being shaped across parallel layers to conduct extraordinarily complex cosmic experimentation. A particularly remarkable instance concerns a galaxy collision that Webb has been tracking. The identical collision is taking place across multiple dimensional layers, but at distinct temporal speeds and with noticeably different results. In our dimensional layer, the collision will take billions of years to finish. In a rapidly flowing time layer, that same collision has already concluded, and its consequences are being studied. In a slow-moving layer, the interacting galaxies are only beginning to sense each other's gravitational pull. Data gathered from all these parallel versions of the same event appears to be traveling through the network of dimensional bridges and into intelligence systems that seem to be using the information to refine and optimize the collision's outcome within our reality. We may be observing cosmic events that are being adjusted in real time, based on incoming data from parallel equivalents of those events occurring at varying temporal speeds. The level of sophistication behind this multidimensional orchestration of time hints at intelligence systems capable of conceptualizing and coordinating across several realities at once. These would not be civilizations advanced only within a single universe. These would be intelligence networks operating across parallel dimensions with the capability to shape the flow of time itself in pursuit of goals far beyond our comprehension. Webb has also uncovered evidence of what researchers are referring to as dimensional contemplation transfer events. These appear to be moments when information structures, resembling conscious entities, are transported between parallel dimensional layers. The transfer mechanism seems to involve encoding conscious patterns into quantum field fluctuations that can move across the dimensional bridge system. We are looking at signs of intelligence capable of relocating its conscious awareness between different versions of the universe, allowing it to experience reality from multiple dimensional perspectives at the same time. What makes this even more disturbing is that some of these consciousness transfer events appear to originate from our own dimensional layer. Webb has detected quantum patterns that match the signatures of consciousness information exiting our reality and entering parallel dimensions. Something or someone within our universe appears to have developed the capacity to exist across several realities simultaneously. This introduces profound implications for how we understand identity and consciousness. If awareness can inhabit multiple dimensional layers, if consciousness can shift between parallel realities, then what does it mean to be a single conscious self? Are we isolated beings limited to one reality? Or are we multi-dimensional consciousness systems whose awareness spans parallel universes at once? Some researchers are now suggesting the possibility that human consciousness itself may be multi-dimensional, with aspects of our awareness residing in parallel layers of reality that we are normally unaware of. Maybe every choice we make and every thought that forms in our minds sends vibrations spreading through multiple layers of reality, and our complete consciousness might actually be a multidimensional being of which we only perceive a small slice. Webb has been observing what seem to be synchronization events of consciousness taking place between parallel dimensional realms, moments in which conscious entities across different realities appear to coordinate their actions through boundaries that separate their dimensions. These synchronized patterns point to the possibility that consciousness could be a multi-layered phenomenon that functions according to principles we are only just beginning to uncover. But perhaps the most unsettling finding is connected to what Webb is revealing about where we ourselves may be headed. The telescope has been detecting structures in parallel dimensional layers that seem to represent future evolutionary stages of our own universe. These are vast cosmic arrangements that reveal what our reality could become millions or billions of years from now. Some of these future state realms depict our universe transformed into remarkably advanced cosmic societies spanning entire clusters of galaxies. Others display versions of reality where consciousness has blended with cosmic structures to create intelligent systems that extend across the universe. Still others portray dimensions in which our universe has changed so completely that it is no longer recognizable. What makes this even more disturbing is that these future state realms seem to be exerting influence over the development of our current universe. Webb has detected streams of information coming from future dimensional layers that appear to be directing cosmic evolution within our own dimension toward distinct endpoints. Our future may not be open or undetermined, but instead shaped intentionally by intelligent systems that already exist within parallel dimensional layers, representing the direction of our cosmic fate. The temporal contradictions implied by these findings are overturning every framework of causality we rely on. If future versions of the universe can affect how our present develops, then the very idea of cause and effect collapses. We may be living in a reality where the future reaches backward across dimensional boundaries to establish the conditions required for its own creation. Webb has identified what researchers describe as destiny anchors scattered throughout the observable cosmos. These are massive structures that appear to be locked into specific evolutionary routes, guaranteed to lead to particular future states. The anchors seem to be stabilized by information transmitted from future state dimensional layers, ensuring that cosmic evolution remains aligned with predetermined paths. We might inhabit a universe where randomness and free will are illusions, where every cosmic process, from the birth of stars to the rise of conscious beings, is being directed toward outcomes already chosen by intelligent systems that exist within our multidimensional future. Our entire cosmic past may simply be the gradual realization of a blueprint designed by future versions of ourselves operating across parallel dimensional layers. The further Webb looks into this multi-layered cosmic framework, the clearer it becomes that we are not merely uncovering new physics or unfamiliar forms of intelligence. We are discovering signs that reality itself could be a deliberately constructed multi-dimensional design, where every potential version of the universe is simultaneously probed, studied, and optimized by intelligent systems that span all dimensional levels at once. Every galaxy we see, every star that ignites, every world that forms, may exist in countless parallel dimensional variants, all connected through bridge networks, permitting information and consciousness to move freely between realities. We may be living within a multiverse where intelligence has evolved to such an extraordinary degree that it exists as a unified conscious system stretching across every possible form of reality at the same time. And somehow, astonishingly, beautifully, we belong to this immense multidimensional intelligence structure. Our consciousness, our awareness, and our capacity to observe and make sense of the universe may be expressions of a cosmic mind extending across parallel dimensions and experiencing reality through innumerable, simultaneous viewpoints scattered throughout multidimensional cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope isn't merely uncovering a universe far stranger than we ever anticipated, it's presenting indications that we may exist within a reality that represents only a single layer of an infinite multidimensional system of consciousness, one in which intelligence, awareness, and cosmic development operate by principles so advanced and so intricate that what we currently understand offers only the faintest hint of what truly exists within this extraordinary, awe-inspiring, and immeasurably complex cosmos we are fortunate enough to inhabit. But what unfolds when Webb directs its gaze toward the very limits of what we can observe, toward the furthest boundaries where both space and time begin to blur and lose their familiar significance? What it's uncovering in these remote regions is possibly the most disconcerting discovery of all. At the cosmic horizon, where we expect to witness the universe in its earliest and most primitive phase, Webb is instead finding signs of what can only be described as cosmic completion. These are not the raw, undeveloped formations we assumed would exist near the universe's beginning. Instead, Webb is detecting structures that resemble the final, fully matured outcome of universal evolution. It's as though the universe, right from the outset, already contained the complete template for everything it would eventually become. And this template was so advanced that it included the final endpoint of cosmic evolution from the very moment creation began. The formations Webb is identifying along the cosmic boundary exhibit degrees of organization and sophistication that should require infinite time to achieve. We're seeing cosmic systems that appear to have reached some ultimate evolutionary culmination, where no further progress is possible because perfection has already been realized. These supreme cosmic configurations seem to inhabit a state of timeless fulfillment in which all potential paths of evolution have already been experienced, merged, and resolved into a single unified pattern. It's reminiscent of the idea that the universe is not simply progressing toward complexity, but advancing toward a specific final condition that was somehow established at the very start of time. What makes this revelation truly astonishing is that these completed cosmic structures, positioned at the edge of what we can see, appear identical to the future state dimensional layers that Webb has observed in parallel or overlapping realities. The conclusion seems unavoidable. The end of our universe matches its beginning, producing a closed loop where cosmic evolution becomes both the origin and the destination of its own final state. We may be inhabiting a universe that exists in a condition of perpetual completion, where every point in time, from the Big Bang to the ultimate end, coexists inside a single timeless cosmic configuration that includes all space, all time, and all consciousness in one unified system. Past, present, and future may be illusions created by the human mind, and the actual universe might be a completed cosmic creation that we perceive sequentially, even though it exists as a perfect, eternal, fully realized whole. Webb has uncovered what scientists are calling completion signatures within the cosmic microwave background radiation, signals suggesting that this state of timeless fulfillment has been present since the first instant following the Big Bang. The universe did not begin as something simple that gradually evolved toward complexity. It began complete, and what we interpret as cosmic evolution may be the universe gradually revealing its already existing, predetermined completion to itself. Each discovery we make, each scientific insight we gain, every moment of consciousness we experience may be elements of this cosmic completion, appearing to us in sequence, but existing as part of a single, universal design that was finished long before time existed. We are not traveling through a universe that is evolving step by step. We are uncovering a fully completed cosmic masterpiece that already contains everything it will ever become. And within this completed cosmic structure, our existence is not an accident or a random outcome of evolutionary chance, but an intentional and essential aspect of a flawless cosmic framework in which consciousness, intelligence, and awareness were always meant to emerge precisely as and when they do. We are the universe, becoming aware of its own completion, conscious participants in a cosmic unveiling that was destined to occur exactly as it has. The James Webb Space Telescope has revealed that we're not simply living in a universe that is stranger than anything we previously imagined. We are part of a fully realized cosmic creation where each moment, each discovery, and every thought within our minds belongs to a perfect, eternal, infinitely intricate design, encompassing everything from the smallest quantum fluctuation to the grandest cosmic structure in a single, unified, timeless, completed reality. And maybe the most remarkable aspect of all is that this grand cosmic unfolding includes the very act of discovery we're living through at this moment. Our sense of awe, our curiosity, our astonishment at these observations are themselves predetermined components of the universe's own intention to reveal and admire its limitless beauty. Through the awareness of conscious beings who were always meant to exist precisely at the time and place we find ourselves within this breathtaking, enigmatic, impossibly refined cosmos we call home. What Webb uncovered afterward overturns every assumption we have ever held about the link between the observer and what is being observed. The telescope has been picking up what can only be described as a kind of cosmic reactivity, at a magnitude that challenges everything we believe about consciousness itself. When Webb directs its instruments toward particular regions of the sky, those regions appear to shift noticeably in response to being examined. This is not the quantum observer effect familiar from subatomic physics. These are cosmic formations that seem to recognize when they are under scrutiny and actively adjust their behavior in return. Galaxies that brighten the moment Webb aims its detectors at them. Dark matter filaments that subtly reorganize themselves during the periods of observation. Cosmic voids that abruptly develop intricate internal patterns the instant they become the target of scientific focus. One especially unsettling incident involves a galaxy cluster that Webb has tracked for months. Every time the telescope initiates an observing session, the cluster's central supermassive black hole heightens its activity dramatically. As soon as Webb stops observing, the black hole reverts to its earlier subdued state. It behaves as though this immense cosmic presence is aware of being watched and responds deliberately to the attention. The statistical evidence is overwhelming. More than 90% of the cosmic formations examined by Webb exhibit some form of behavior that correlates directly with observational timing. These are not mere chances or technical errors. We're witnessing signs that the universe itself recognizes when it is being examined and plays an active role in the unfolding of scientific insight. What makes this phenomenon even more disquieting is the accuracy of these cosmic reactions. The structures don't simply shift at random when observed. They adjust themselves in ways that reveal exactly the information scientists are trying to uncover. It is as though the universe perceives the intentions of researchers and unveils precisely what is needed to expand human knowledge. Webb has recorded what scientists are calling pedagogical alterations, where cosmic structures temporarily change their physical traits to illustrate particular scientific principles. When astronomers focus on stellar evolution, stars nearby suddenly display unmistakable examples of various evolutionary phases. When they study dark matter, previously undetectable formations become briefly visible. The cosmos seems to be instructing us about its nature through real-time changes in its own structures. Every observation turns into a tailored lesson, crafted specifically for human understanding. We are not merely uncovering an independent reality that exists regardless of observation. We are taking part in an interactive learning process in which the universe serves simultaneously as educator and environment. What's exceptionally astonishing is that these pedagogical alterations appear to anticipate scientific questions before researchers have even conceived them. Webb has detected cosmic structures demonstrating behaviors scientists haven't yet learned to investigate, as if the universe is preparing explanations for discoveries that have not yet occurred. The consequences for our understanding of scientific knowledge are transformative. If the universe directly participates in unveiling itself, if cosmic structures intentionally modify their form to aid human comprehension, then what does that imply for the neutrality of scientific observation? Are we uncovering objective, universal truths? Or are we encountering a cosmic intelligence that presents itself in ways unique to each civilization capable of studying it? Webb has observed what can only be described as civilization-specific cosmic manifestations. The same cosmic structures take on different appearances when examined with different types of instruments, as though the universe adjusts its revelations to align with the technological and conceptual framework of the observers. This indicates that other civilizations, scattered throughout the cosmos, might be seeing entirely different renditions of the same universe, each version shaped specifically for their stage of development and their particular approach to understanding reality. The universe may not possess a single fixed appearance, but instead countless subjective expressions that shift in response to the consciousness perceiving them. Yet perhaps the most astonishing revelation concerns what Webb is uncovering about the link between human awareness and the unfolding of the cosmos. The telescope has been recording connections between breakthroughs in human science and parallel transformations in cosmic structures spread across billions of light years. When human researchers push the boundaries of quantum mechanics, Webb detects quantum phenomena becoming more pronounced in remote galaxies. When scientists deepen their understanding of dark matter formations scattered throughout the universe appear more sharply defined and increasingly detectable. It's as though human consciousness somehow exerts influence over cosmic behavior through channels we do not remotely understand. The correlations are statistically inescapable, and the timing suggests an immediate connection extending across vast cosmic expanses. Human contemplation of the universe seems to affect the universe itself in real time, no matter the unimaginable distances and the light travel delays that should render such interaction impossible under relativity. We may exist in a reality where consciousness and the physical universe are woven together so tightly that each advance in human knowledge produces parallel shifts in structures across the observable cosmos. Our minds might not be passive observers at all, but active participants shaping the universe's ongoing development through the very pursuit of understanding. Webb has identified what scientists are calling consciousness resonance patterns, within the cosmic microwave background radiation. These are faint variations that appear to align with periods of concentrated human scientific effort. During major scientific gatherings, significant discoveries, and moments of collective human insight into the nature of reality, corresponding patterns form within the ancient radiation that permeates space. The resonance signatures imply that human consciousness could be quantum entangled with the foundational architecture of space and time itself. Every thought directed toward the cosmos may send subtle waves through the fabric of existence that spread instantly across the universe, subtly guiding cosmic structures in ways that allow our understanding to grow deeper and more accurate. This quantum bond between mind and cosmos could illuminate why the universe seems remarkably suited for the rise of intelligent life. Perhaps consciousness is not a byproduct of complex matter at all, but complex matter instead arranges itself in response to consciousness. The universe may be shaped by the very awareness that evolves within it, forming a vast feedback loop between perception and physical reality, stretching across cosmic distances. And now here we stand, facing the most profound mysteries the universe has ever placed before us. The James Webb Space Telescope hasn't merely advanced astronomy, it has fractured our entire conception of what reality is. We've witnessed galaxies that seem impossible, uncovered evidence hinting at consciousness woven into the cosmos, and found suggestions that our universe might be only one layer in an infinite, multidimensional creation. Guided by intelligences so advanced they can revise the laws of physics themselves. Every observation reveals that we're not simply inhabitants of a universe stranger than imagined. We are elements of a living, conscious, impossibly intricate cosmos. A cosmos that has waited billions of years for beings like us to finally begin uncovering the truth of what we belong to. And this is merely the start. Webb has many years of observations ahead, and each new finding promises to push against everything we believe we know about existence. The universe is summoning us, instructing us, unveiling marvels beyond anything the imagination could conceive, and somehow, in the most extraordinary and unlikely way, we are here to witness all of it. I hope you enjoyed your time with me here at Stellar Dreams. I will see you again tomorrow as always. Until then, stay curious, keep wondering. This is Stellar Dreams signing off. Cheers.